We got one coming in from Jeremy who says, "Hey, downright Wooly and 720 Pat.
So,
Perfect meta is impossible, but should we prioritize a fun one instead? I was a little late to jump off Overwatch 2. All of Blizzard's bullshit aside, they had a chat a while back and it stuck with me. In the chat, they were discussing the state of the meta, and the general feeling was that the game is better when it's in a place where Reinhardt is in the meta. This player sentiment was generally in line with the statement, and Reinhardt usually made matches more fun. This had me thinking, should there be a priority to make characters that are fun to play as and against more relevant? Should the more annoying, oppressive characters be adjusted to retain players like Morrigan in late Marvel 3? I do understand fun is subjective, but what are your thoughts on this? Interesting question.
So I'm going to very quickly fly through this because I have too much to say. Somebody asked me a variation of this question on my bolt gun stream, and I went on for almost an hour and a half on the subject, including pulling up, like, I stopped the stream to go over to Core A Gaming's video on why buffs are better than nerfs.
Yep, that's a good pull.
And went on and on and on. Mm-hmm. And most of that discussion in that time, because I was playing a shooter, was about Destiny. But your game being fun is the most important thing, not balance. The best example I think Gerald has ever made in any of his videos is that Street Fighter 1 is perfectly balanced because you guys are forced to pick the same character, and Street Fighter 1 sucks ass and is a piece of shit. Like, fun games with fun characters are more fun than games with perfect balance. Every game I can think of that has ever chased the 5-5 utopia or perfect balance has nerfed their game into shit.
So the other thing about when it comes to annoying, oppressive characters and such, right? Like, there's a way to handle that. And a lot of the time, like, I'm of course going to fighting games with this, but like, I think about how there's characters that can be fun to fight against and lose against, and have a system where the crowd and you are rooting for them. When you fight Phoenix Wright in Marvel 3, you're like, happy. Oh, I'm gonna beat him, but I'm mad that he didn't get into turnabout mode, right? Mm-hmm. That's an ideal type of thing that is like, that's a cool feeling to have all around the board. Everyone loves that idea.
Somebody, a guy who beat me up during the beta, Abare in the chat, points out that Guile versus Ryu is not the 5-5 balance utopia that you want. Right? Like, is Guile Ryu, is that core Street Fighter? Yeah. Is that really boring to watch as the final over and over again? Yeah, it sure is.
And that person's name is Abare, for anyone who knows the term. That's interesting, right? Like, wake up pressing wild buttons to steal a turn. The idea of exactly that, like the game where it is not as fun to watch, but it is more balanced.
Fair.
But it's the death knell of the game, unfortunately. It's just going to be like, people are not going to stick around for that. What you kind of need to do and should do in a lot of cases, and most games that aim to like strive to hit this, is offer the variety, right? You offer characters that have little moments of that, and you want to show off stuff where essentially people who like play fighting games and are like, yo, I want to see what kind of character to play as. People look for different things. Some people will see a grappler grab you and fuck you up and your life bar melts and they'll go, ooh, right? But someone else will see, like in the Project L footage, a moment where a character rewinds time, uncrosses up behind you, and you're like, wait, he hit him on Witsa? Oh, that's dirty. And everyone goes, oh my God, that's so sick. And then it's like, that looked unfair, but the person who's looking for that type of like dirty mix is going to want that style of gameplay, People will do shit like that and then go like, all right, well, because you can do that, you can do a little less damage, yada, yada. But you want to always prioritize people having fun playing and watching it. Always, always, always. Any games that are more even-handed and then like competitively people are playing it and winning money and that's all there. Like those games are not going to last. There's the spectacle part does matter. And I would say that you're talking about Corey with that. Another fantastic example of exactly this subject was covered by Leon Massey, who put out a video called A Tale of Two Top Tiers. That was talking about the difference between Meta Knight and what Meta Knight did to Brawl versus what Fox did to Melee. And the exact nature of how both of those characters, they're busted in their games, but the way that they're busted led to Meta Knight killing off Brawl while Melee continued to be the persistent, love it or hate it, it will not die, people fucking stand by this thing game that it is today, because the nature of how Fox played and the tools that he had and the things people were doing with it brought up the game around him competitively, and Meta Knight just shoved it down, squashed it, and made it so that there was nothing else to do if you were not already Meta Knight. The discussion about should I ban this character or not already shows you're off on the wrong foot, you know?
Yeah, so, the only time that I think characters should be like aggressively nerfed is when they're shutting down the game around them. Is when the character is so far out ahead that they are ruining your ability to enjoy the rest of the cast, right? That's pretty rare. Even Third Strike, a game that is fucked up, that bounced terrible.
It's crazy.
Chun-Li and Yun do not shut down your ability to play Ryu. They're better. They're way better. They're way better. But you can still fucking play a good Ryu and have fun.
Yeah, I remember when I didn't know anything and I loved Third Strike early on. And I remember saying to somebody who was really good at Third Strike, I was like, yeah, man, that game, it looks so beautiful. The style is so cool. The characters are great. It's so fun to play. And it's just really like it's the Street Fighter game that got the balance. And... and the fucking laughter.
Dude, you can feel
I was so naive.
You can feel how bad Street Fighter 3 Third Strike's balance is from a casual level. That's how fucking far apart it is.
God. From the just
like you go Leon Massey, this is the third time we mentioned him. He has a great video that I'm gonna watch on Wednesday about fucking 12. You want to talk about the bottom tier, the fucking bottom of the fucking barrel. Look at 12 in that game. That game, that you could just pull him the fuck out, and no one would even know.
And then of course, so yeah, you have that idea where Melee lived this long because of the way Fox was dominating as opposed to the Meta Knight version of it. And then you can look at CVS2 and see how that scene competitively dried up until role canceling was discovered, and this insane busted bug that lets every character have some invincibility on all of their moves was what brought everyone back to the table and go, oh wait, you can do what? Ooh,
yeah,
that's fucking disgusting. I want to play.
This like idea kind of killed Warframe for me and a lot of people because like Warframe was defined by the bullet jump, which was a bug. It was the weird throw your weapon bug that let you jump super far, and they included it into the game, and now everyone's mobility was super high, and every character that came out was more busted than the last one. And at some point they decided, well, we don't want characters in Warframe to get too powerful, so they announced like a feature going, hey look, you can feed a frame to the monster and the monster will give you their ability, and it's not an ability your frame could normally have, right? And then they fucking just gutted every single fucking thing you could get for it, to the point that I was talking to Brozim about it, and he was convinced, I think this is what happened, but people were convinced that the devs were looking at people's guides on what to get as blueprints for nerfs.
Oh shit, the classic community-based nerf. Oh no. Oh, you hate to see it. Wow.
And it was just like they put out these huge diagrams and spreadsheets of like, this move would be really good to put on this character, this move would be really good, and then it came out later. What the fuck? Why did they all get nerfed?
Okay. What am I about to say? Guns the Duel.
Oh no, what about Guns the Duel?
Oh, I thought you did. Sorry, I thought we've talked. Okay, so Guns the Duel.
I never got into it.
All right, awesome ass game where everybody was versus sword, gun, assassin man that had Uzi in one hand, katana in the other, and you can fuck around, right? God damn it, dude. That game was so much fun. It had wall running and all this crazy bullshit. But then butterflying was discovered. And butterflying was the ability to run off the wall, slash to get some aerial movement, and shotgun your way back on, and essentially wave dash up the walls to create wall-based combat.
Cool.
Vertical play. Change the game. Sickest shit ever. Unintended play. Gone from the game.
Take it out.
Killed
Get
it.
out of here.
Murdered
it's too
it.
fun.
Murdered it. Completely murdered it. All the fun. A bunch of hackers came and put cheats in, and they needed to address all of that shit because it was impossible to really have to play. But butterflying made the game something else completely, and then they just took it the fuck out, and it was too much fun, And that I remember that exact thing. So.
Hey, I'm being informed that the helmet thing that I'm talking about, I'm completely wrong, and that most of those options stayed and were not nerfed, which is weird because I remember the Warframe community screaming about nerfs that whole time. So take that story with a grain of salt. I might have remembered it wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
So yeah, the fact that emergent gameplay will sometimes be the defining thing is a very good second point to prioritize the fun,
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen in your game is oh man, there's this really cool thing. I'm gonna start playing the game. Oh, cool. And then they're like, no, get it out of there. No, stop it. You're having fun. No.
Yeah. it was interesting because I remember I feel like with Phoenix, there was that era of Phoenix dominating the entire meta. And there was always that oh, is he gonna get the conditions? Are they not? What's gonna happen? And the closer you were to it, the more you were just oh my God, fuck this fucking character. And then ways to contain it kind of eventually simmered up. It took a while to cook, but then it started to happen. And then Phoenix Wright later, came out in Ultimate and was another conditional checkmate, but it just was too hard to actually get to it. So it didn't go the same way, but it was so much fun every time someone picks a Phoenix Wright and you go, oh my God, they're picking a Phoenix Wright. Where's this game going to go?